Hello students, welcome to the next topic. So as we have told that, so in today's topic now we are going to take up a particular problem, right? So now we are going to consider a problem here. So in order to characterize an AI technique, so let us consider initially a game which is called as tic-tac-toe, and we use series of different approaches to play this particular game. And when we look into the algorithms, what we are going to study in today's class, these programs are been built in such a way that it increases in complexity, use of generalization, right? The second thing, the clarity of their knowledge. So that means to say that in the first program, it is very simple. Let second program when we discussed, that is the second method what we are going to discuss, it slightly increases in complexity as well as the generalization, the knowledge what we are going to use, and expandability of their approach. In this way, now we are gradually moving from a simple method to solve the problem towards our AI representation of AI technique, right? So we are going to consider this particular problem. So I think many of us know this particular problem, tic-tac-toe game. It is a very simple game. So now it is called as tic-tac-toe. It's also known as knot and cross grain. So in this game, so we are going to use two symbol. One is called as X and the other one is O. So and the player needs to take the turns making the space in a 3 by 3 grid, right? So we have got the grids like this, like say for example this is the board or a grid we can say. Now the board consists of 3 by 3 array or a matrix we can say. Now which has got the space. Initially it is empty. Now there are two persons. The first person is going to use X, the second person is going to use O, right? Now say for example if the player 1 is going to make, now he will try to place his symbol in this board. So like say for example X is going to make a move here, right? X makes a move here. Now the second person, he O, right? He makes a move, then X is going to make a move. O is going to make a move, right? Now X is going to make a move, again O is going to make a move, X is going to make a move. Now you see X has won this game, right? X has won this particular. So when we say that X has won this particular game or O has won this particular game, right? Now if you observe here in this entire board, now with the whenever you are going to play this game, either diagonally you can see here we say player 1 has win this game if diagonally all X is there, right? Either diagonally or horizontally or vertically, if either the player occupies their position. Now you can see here, I think this is mistake, right? Now here we can see uh, all three O's are there. Now we can declare player 2 has won the game. Of course here there is a mistake I have drawn here. Now here X is also there, right? So if you assume that this is O. Similarly, now if you look in the third example, now X, X and X. So we can declare player 1 has won the game. So this is how we are going to play the game of tic-tac-toe. Now we will see the first example, or we can say first algorithm. Now how we are going to solve this particular problem. So the first approach, which is a very basic approach, is a very simple approach. Now here, now we are going to use like we can assume like a brute force method in order to solve this game. So to solve this game in this method, so what we are doing, now we consider a board. So we are going to consider a vector called as a board. Now this is the board. Now it is represented with 9 numbers, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So we consider 9 numbers and we try to represent these numbers in this board position. Next, an element contains the value 0 for blank. Now if the board is blank, now the element inside that particular board will be 0, and for x we are going to use a number 1, and for o we are going to use a number 2, right? So now three numbers we are going to use here. What are the three numbers? One is 0 for blank, number 1 for representing x, that is player 1, and 2 for o, player 2. So there are two players, player 1 we use 1, and for player 2 we use a number 2, and for blank we are going to use a number 0. So that means now we are using three numbers here. Now how many board positions are there? 9 positions are there. So there are three numbers and 9 positions. Now when you take the various combinations, 3 to the power of 9. So 3 to the power, this should be 3 to the power, okay? So 3 to the power of 9. So now we are going to have one table. So we are going to define one table or a vector now, which is called as a move table. So this move table now consists of 19,683 elements will be there. Why 19,683 elements? 3 to the power of 9, 3 numbers, and there are 9 positions, right? Now initially, like say for example, now initially what will be there? Now initially the board will be like this, that is empty, right? Now this is the empty board. Now the player 1 is going to play. Now see, when the player 1 wants to play the game, now how many possibilities he will be having? He will be having 9 positions. Either he can place here, 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 or in this place. So right, so he is having 9 possibilities. So there are 9 childrens of this root node. So where in which now in any positions he can try to place. So say for example, now x is going to make move here in the center part of the board. He is going to make a move. Not only the center part, apart from this, still he has 8 positions, right? Now he makes a move. Next O's turns will come. So now O will be having how many possibilities, right? So now when you say we are using 3 numbers to represent and 9 places are there, 3 to the power of 9, there are 19,683 elements are there. So now this is what the data structures we are going to use, and the algorithm. Now let us look into the algorithm. What does the algorithm say? The first point, step 1, view the vector as a ternary number. So 3 numbers are there. You are going to consider the vector as a ternary number. Convert it into a decimal number. Now we convert the ternary number into a decimal number and use the decimal number as an index into the move table. So we are going to use this decimal number as an index into the move table and access the vector, right? Third step, now set the board to this vector, whatever we have accessed in the previous step 2, we are going to use that. So set the board to this particular vector, indicating how the board looks after the move. This is a very simple algorithm, right? Now we'll try to see in more in detail about how this particular algorithm is being built. So now let us take yes. So now what are the data structures we are going to use this in program? We are using 2 data structures. So one is the board, right? One is our board and the second one is the move table. Now how we are configuring our board? So we are saying that board is a 3x3 array or 3x3 vector. Now in this has got the positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now in this 3x3 vector, now we are using 3 numbers, 0 for blank, 1 is used for x and 2 is used for o. This is the first data structure. Now the second data structure will be the move table. Since we are using 3 numbers and 9 positions are there, 3 to the power of 9, 19,683 elements. Now the move table, now this is what the move table has got. Now first will be the index. Now how many rows will be there? 19,683 rows will be there. So index will be from 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So like this. So since 0 it will be 19,682. So totally 19,683 elements will be there. Next is current board position. So you will be having current board positions, and next is a new position will be there. Now say for example, now this is let us take this as the example. Now initially, now you consider this index 0. Now what is the current board position? 0 0 0 0 0 0 and 0 0 0. That means it is empty. You are going to start again. So empty means what? Now this is how it looks, right? This is what I have written here. Now let us consider. Now initially what is there in the board position? Empty. So if it is empty, we are going to represent it with a 0. So number or value 0 will be there in our board, right? This is what is represented here, right? 0 0 0. See, first row 0 0 0, next 0 0 0, again 0 0 0. So this is the current board position. New board position. Now X is going to make a move. Now what does the new board position? It is there, right? So what the program does, it scans this particular move table. So in move table, now current board, it looks into this. In this index, it keeps on searching the index, right? So now current board position is this. Now what is the new board position? What it is telling? 0 0 0 0 1 0. 1 means what? X. You know, 1 is X. So 0 1. So in this place, X is written. X is nothing but what? 1. So you will be having 1 here. So 0 1 0 0 0 0. Right? So now this is how it has been done. So what does the first step of our algorithm says? View the vector as a ternary number and convert it into a decimal number. So now we are going to consider this as a ternary number. Now say for example, after certain instant of time or the second move, now this is our board position. Now what is our board position now? First row 0 0 0. So we have written 0 0 0. Next 0 1 0. This is, let us say, 0 1 0. Next what is there? 0 0 2. 2 means 0. That means the second player has made a move. So the position is 0 0 0. Sorry, 0 0 2. Now this is our value, ternary number. Now we convert this number into a decimal number, right? So we are going to convert the ternary number into the decimal number. Now say for example, now when you convert this into a ternary number, now we get some value, right? Let us assume that, suppose say that we get a number 25 in decimal number. Of course this is not actually the 25, you have to convert it. So how do you convert? Now this will be 3 to the power of 0. So next this will be 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2, etc. like this, right? 0 1 2 3 4, 3 to the power of 4. So 3 to the power of 4 plus 1. So this will be the decimal number, right? So like this, now when you convert this ternary number into a decimal number, we will get some value. Suppose say that we have a board position, and when we convert it into a decimal, we get number 25. Next step what we do is we search the index. Now we will go to the index 25. So let us say this is the index 25. We will go into this particular index 25 and we will look into this, scan this particular thing. Now when we go into that particular thing, now we will see that what will be the current position. It will be as like how we got. So current position will be there. So for this current position, what is the new position, right? Now see here. So if you take this 1, index 1, now this was the current board position. What is the current board position here? Now if you take your board here, right, if you take this, now when you convert the ternary into a decimal number, and if you get a number 1, now you come to this 1, you search this index 1, look into the current board position. What will be at that moment current board position? It will be like this. So 0 0 0, so 0 0 0 and 0 0 1. That means 1 means what? X has made a move, right? For your simplicity, I am writing X. Actually it is 1 here. You see here. What is the new board position? So 1 here means X has already moved. So now the second player turn, right? So now second player turn. So now what is the new board position? Now you see 1 is already there. So it is saying 0 2 0, 0 2 0. That means now here the second player O is going to fill this place. So 0 2 2 is for O, right? 0 2 0. See new position 0 2 0, 0 0 0, 0 0 1. 1 already it is there, like this. So now this algorithm is going to work, right? So what actually we try to do in this algorithm is that view the vector as ternary number, convert it into a decimal number, use that number, see here, use that number as an index into the move table and access the new board position and put the pawn in that particular board position. That is step 3. So this is our first program. Now we have very simply, without using any particular knowledge, or we can say that without using any intelligence, right? So we just wrote certain steps. We created a move table having 19,000 plus rows, and we use some 0 1 1 or 2 1 or 2, we do it, convert that into a decimal, we get one value. That value, take it in the index, we search that in the move table, and in that particular row when you are getting that value, so whatever the new position is there, in that position you make a move. It's very simple, straightforward, the algorithm we have used here. So now what is the drawback of this particular algorithm? Nowhere we are using any intelligence, right? We don't know when the my opponent is going to win the game, so that I can stop him from winning the game, right? I can block him from winning the game. And moreover, the memory required here is very huge. So 19,000 plus is not a simple memory locations. Lot of memory locations are being used. Now these are the some of the, or we can say, the drawbacks of this particular algorithm. So what it says, so in this approach is capable in time, but it has several disadvantages. It is very fast because just searching and do it, there is no more of calculations is been involved, but it takes more space and requires effort to calculate what decimal number. That means converting ternary to decimal number, again we need another algorithm for this, right? So these are some of the disadvantages which is there. Now to overcome this, now we will go to a second approach, right? Now what does this particular second approach is going to tell us? Now the second approach says the data structure used here is now we are using two data structures. One is called as the board and the other one is called as the turn. So now what is the board? Now the same structure we are going to use. So in the board, right, it is a 3x3 board, but the numbering is slightly different here. Now here we use 2 for blank. Previously we used represented 0 for blank, but here we are going to use 2 for blank, 3 is used for X and 5 is used for the second player O. So we are going to use it now, right? So what we are doing, 2 for blank, right? 2 is used for blank, 3 is used for player 1, that is X, and 5 is used for next player O. This is small changes we have done here. Next we are using a variable called as a turn. Now this turn indicates 1 for first move, 2 for second move, 3 for third move. So totally how many? 9 moves will be there, right? So which indicates which player is going to play the game. So next we are going to use some subroutines or small programs here. So we are going to, the algorithm consists of 3 actions. The first one is make 2. Now what does this make 2 says? Now make 2, it returns 5. It is going to return 5 if the center square is blank. So in our board, in our board, if the center position is blank, so then it returns 5. Now otherwise it returns any blank, remember here, any blank non-corner square. So non-corner square means what? See here, if this is your board, right, this is your blank, this is your center. If center is empty, it is going to return 5 because this position itself is 5. That is why we are say if this is blank, return 5, else it returns non-blank. That means it should be empty here. So either 2, 4, 6 or 8, any of these, whichever is empty, so that position it is going to return. So it returns any blank non-corner square 2, 4, 6 or 8. This is the task of this make 2. So next we have got pos win. So pos win of P. So now this pos win of P, right? Now it returns 0, if player P cannot win on the next move. If player P cannot win in the next move, then it returns 0. Otherwise, it returns the number of square that gives a winning move. So if the player P cannot win in the next move, it is going to return 0. Otherwise, that means if the opponent is going to win in the next move, it returns the number of that square. So whichever in this number of the square means, suppose say that in the next move, say for example, now let me be very clear, say this second player already these two is there, now x turn is there, right? First x puts here, then O, right? Then let us say x is putting here, then O puts, now x turn. Now when x is going to make, now he calls pos win. Now when he calls pos win, so now you see here O is going to win in the next move. If you put x here, if x is going to make a move here, in the next step, O will put here, right? So O is going to win the game. Now what pos win will tell? It returns 0 if player P cannot win on the next move. So now here in the next move O is going to win the game. So at that moment what the pos win does, it returns the number of square that gives a winning move. Which is going to give a winning move for O? This square or this position. So that will be returned by the pos win. So when the pos win returns this position, so now x is going to block this. Now if x marks here, then he is going to block the winning position of O. That is what pos win is going to do here, right? So now we will see how we are going to calculate this. Now the pos win, what it does, it checks each line using the product 3 into 3 into 2, that is equal to 18. 3 3s are 9, 9 2s are 18. If you are going to get 18, x is going to win. If you get 50, O is going to win the game, right? So now let us see this, let us be more clear. So what we are doing in the second approach, let me take some different color. Okay, second approach, this is the board, right? Only changes what we have made in the representation. So we are using 2 for blank, 3 is used for the player X, 5 is used for player O, and we are using another variable turn, which indicates move to be played. Turn 1 means it is X move, 2 is O, 3 is 4, like this. How many turns will be there? 9 turns will be there, because there are only 9 positions. So now we are using 3, one is make 2. So we have seen what does the make 2 does. It returns, it checks the center position. If this center position is empty, it will return 5. Otherwise it will return 2, 4, 6 or 8. Whichever is empty, it is going to return. And pos 2. Now we were discussing about the pos 2, right? Now initially, now you see initially this is our board position. What will be there? All empty, blank. That means 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So 2 is used for blank. Now let us say now x is going to make a move. Now if x makes a move, right? Now say that x is going to represent here. So for x, what is the number you are using? We are using number 3. And for O, we are using number 5. Now let us say x is going to make a move. I will write x here 3. Right? So x is going to make a move. Next, O makes a move. Let us assume that O is going to make a move here 5. Now x turn. Now x will make a move here 3. Now O turn. Now you observe here. So now O will call this pos win. Now what does pos win does? It tries to make calculation diagonally, horizontally and vertically. Now you see here, if it multiplies these through row values, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, you are going to get. Now if you multiply this, 5 3s are 15, 15 2s are 30. Like this, when you see it has to see that if we are going to get 18, see now whose moves is there, now 5 has to make a move. Now before 5 is going to make a move, it will see that whether x is going to win in the next move. When x is going to win the move when the product becomes 18. See, if you look here, these things, 3 3s are 9, 9 2s are 18. That means if O is not going to block this position, if it is not going to block this position in the next move, x is going to win the game, right? So now when what phi will come to know, or O will come to know that in the next move, because this product of this 3 3s are 9, 2s are 18. If you get 18 anywhere, either vertically, horizontally or diagonally, if you get 18, so O will come to know that x is going to win in the next move. Similarly, x will come to know that if the product is 50, if the product is 50, 5 into 5 25, 25 into 2 is 50. Whenever the product is 50, x will come to know that O will win the move in the next game, right? So now here what O does now is that it checks this product. So 3 3s are 9, 9 2s are 18. That means if I don't block this in the next move, x is going to win. So then pos win will return this value, it will return this position. So when it returns this position, O will block this, O will put its pawn here. So here 5 will come. O is going to block the win of x. This is clear. So I think now it is very clear. This is how we are going to do it. So the same thing is given by the our algorithm. So now go n, there is another thing called as go n. Now go n makes a move to square n, setting board n to 3 or 5. So the go n is nothing but it tells us to move to whichever the position based on our turn. So turn will tell us so whether it is 3, x or O. Now let us try to look into this particular program or the algorithm. Now let us say this is our board, right? Let us draw once again. Yes, this is our board. Okay, now what does the algorithm is telling us? Turn 1, go to 1 upper left corner. So what we are doing, first turn, so we will go to the upper left corner. So 3, I will write here 3, right? Turn 2, if board 5 is blank, go to 5, else go 1. So who is the turn 2? Turn 2 means 5. Turn 1 is 3 because we started with 3. Now second step of the algorithm, if board 5 is blank, go to 5, else go to 1. So it will see this. Is it blank? Yes. So if it is blank, so you go to this, otherwise go to 1. So here it is empty, so here we are going to mark 5. Right? Now if you look here, already previously what values will be there? Since the board is empty initially, so initially in this position what will be the values? 2 will be there because blank, for blank 2 is there. We will be having 2 2 2. So here there is no 2 because here 3 has come, 3 and 5, right? Now we will go to turn 3. If board 9 is blank, go to 9, else go to 3. So if turn 3 is what, right? 3, this is player 3, next is player 5, next is player 3, odd numbers is 3, right? Now turn 3. So if board 9 is blank, now you see board 9, is it blank? Yes, it is blank. Since it is blank, now here we are going to mark 3. So here 3. Since it is blank, we are going to mark it as 3. Since board of 9 is blank, go to 9, else go to 3, it is telling. Now we will come to turn 4. Now even number, so it will be 5 or O spoon. Now what it does, if pos win of x is not 0, then go to pos win of x, that is block opponents, else go to make 2, right? Else go to make 2. Now you see that anywhere, now are you going to get 18? See, anywhere when you do the calculation, are we going to get row? See, now we'll say here 3 into 2 into 2. So 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12. It is not 18, right? Now you take anywhere, you are not going to get 18. That means in the next move, x cannot win the game. So now what the algorithm says, if pass win is not 0, right, then go to pass win of x. Otherwise, go to make 2. So now we will go to make 2. So now when you go to make 2, what does the make 2 will give? Make 2 right now it will check this position. Is it empty? No, it is not empty. Then it will return either of these things. So it will return this value. So now here 5 is going to make a move here. 5 will make a move here. Next we will go to turn 5. Now turn 5 is whose turn? So now again it is odd number, that means 3 is going to make a move. So now 3 has to make a move. Now what it does, it calculates the pass win. Now 3 is going to make a move. Now it will see whether 5 is going to win in the next move. So when 5 will win, 5 will win when you get the product 50. So now you see, and row, column, horizontally, vertically or diagonally, anywhere are we going to get the product 50. Now if you observe here this column, right, 5 5 is 25, 25 into 2 50, we are getting 50. That means if you don't block this, 5 will win in the next game, right? In the next move 5 is going to win the game. Now what the pass win will do is, pass win will return this number. So since it returns this position, now 3 is going to block this. So here 3 will come. Clear? Like this. So now this algorithm is going to work. So turn 6, now it will again, if pass win of O, right, is not 0, then go to pass win of O. Else if pass win of X is not 0, then go to pass win of X, right? So sixth turn here saying pass win of O, that means is O is going to win in the next move or not, we are going to see here. Now here we'll see whether X is going to win or not. So O will check, O is going to check whether X is going to win or not. So like this. So now this algorithm is going to work. So every time, so pass win will be checking the product. So if X turn is there, X will check whether any product I am going to get 18. If O is going to make a move, O will check whether any product of 18, X will see for product of 50, right? This is how. Now in the second method in this algorithm, now we are going to calculate how we are able to, or we can say that mark this particular algorithm, where we are using little bit of knowledge and how we are going to block the opponent. But when you look into this algorithm, now this algorithm is better than our previous algorithm, but it takes quite time for executing because lot of pass win calculations are there. So when you want to implement this also, now we need to have lot of programming part is also required. But compared to our previous algorithm, now here it is somewhat better. We come to know that if X is playing, he comes to know that when O is going to win the game, so he can block that particular game, right? This is the second method of looking into the this particular algorithm. So in the next class, now we will take up the third method and we will take in another example of passage reading, or the English, how a particular passage is given and how we are going to answer that particular passage, and that another example we will be discussing in our next class. So thank you for listening to this video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.